2,929 workers in 3 months. According to fresh data from the National Bureau of Statistics, banks in Nigeria sacked a total of 2,929 workers in the third quarter of 2019. And also, according to the report, the staff strength of the banks reduced by 2,929 in the quarter, with 101,435 total staff, as against the 104,364 recorded in the second quarter of the year. This represents a 2.81% decrease. It also reduced by 1,386 when compared to the 102,821 staff recorded in the same period last year. So whilst the government is still talking about, curbing unemployment, we have almost 3,000, jobless people thrown back into the labor market.
Well, firstly, I want to thank NLC for what they did 2 days ago. First Bank was about to lay off 1,000 staffs within the age of 35 and 55. But NLC has wrote them that come. Some of these people are also our members too, and there is a rule on ground. So that if you really want to again, there is a rule on ground that a lot of people are unemployed in Nigeria, and you still want to add to it. But one thing that is very, very important here is this: if you look around, where is the job? Even the job that you have on ground, how much is being attached to them? The only thing that I think the Minister of Trade and Investment needs to do a lot of things here. Even the Ministry of Finance too. Then Ministry of Labor. Banks, they are not like federal government and state government or local government. Because for you to be sacked as a civil servant, you will have done something. But in private business, although there are rules, which many of them we don't normally follow the rules, but they should please, because of our environment, and that is where government needs to take. I don't know what the Ministry of the Ministry of Labor and Productivity, they need to come in, engage these people. What is your problem? Why are you laying off? Because there are some, okay, for instance now, if a branch of a bank is spending over let's say 1.5 million on diesel alone, and they're not capping, and all these banks, as much as they love to take people's money, to siphon people through a lot of things they normally do, they don't want to lose a cover like this. So that's why they always work within the range. So Ministry of Labor needs to do a lot of things, and we are begging the CEOs of banks, the management of every bank in Nigeria, please, these people are Nigerians, they deserve to work. We know that you have your own budget that you work, but please, as much as we have high level of unemployment in Nigeria, by the time you are sending these people down to go and join them, your own business also is not even safe, because by the time they leave and they can't do any other job, but for the fact that they've been in banking, they know what they can do to be sabotaging all the effort. I could recall last few years or thereabout, there are some guys that they said I don't know how they were disengaged from banking, now went to go and rent a particular apartment. Do you know what they normally do? They have some software, I don't know how they broke it into whatever, they make sure they can pick one naira. They may say, okay, maybe 4 days in a week, they will pick one naira on account attached to that particular bank. They will pick it all around. They do it twice in a week, and that is what they are doing. So if people did not have work and they have the brain, they have the skill, they may use that skill against the business that we have.
All right, Chooks, let me hear you.
I think one thing that still baffles me with bank, which each time I see it, I wonder how they arrived at it. I don't know if you have seen the payroll of banks, and you see how heavy the salary is up. How heavy the salary is up. Then down. People are earning 80,000, 100,000, 120,000, 70,000. Yes. Then in the same office up, somebody is earning 1,800,000.
1.5.
1 point something million, 2 million.
A
month.
That is one person.
So
2 million.
I don't know how. I don't know, because that's one of the things. If the problem is that you have a challenge, you should sit down and restructure, because what happens, those up if you hear that they are sacking, they don't sack people from up like that.
They don't sack.
You sit down there. So one person's salary up can pay 10 people in a month. Can't you sit down and adjust this system instead of trying to throw away people? You have enjoyed it for years. That era has passed.
Yes, sir.
There was a time when banking was the in thing. Everybody wants to work in the bank. That era has passed. So you should restructure your so you'll be able to handle, you know, the pay. If the pay is the problem. And again, these same people deduct 150 naira maintenance fee, deduct this one, deduct. What do you now do with those monies? If you are sacking people, do you know what it means to take away 50 naira from everybody who is in your bank? They collect 1,000 or how much for maintenance of my ATM card. I don't know how they maintain my card that I have. And I don't understand. I carry and you are the one maintaining. So after all these charges and all these charges, you still want to. I remember during the recession, you talked about the Minister of Labour, and we had a session with him at the court, and he raised the same issue, and he said the banks wanted to downsize, and he told them, "Can we see your payroll? Let's see what your let's see why you are downsizing." They said a lot of them refused to submit it. That they asked for it because they know quite all right that they are sacking people who earn peanuts. The guys who are actually earning the big money are not going anywhere. They are still there.
And the ones earning the peanuts are the ones that are doing the job.
That's the one doing the job. So why do you? Okay, you see one CEO, the same bank is paying, bought a house where he lives. They buy the car that he uses, including the one the wife is using.
Every allowance.
All the children are on scholarship from the same bank. If they move around, you pay. If they want to do boat ride, you pay. This is what you are wasting. So you see, meanwhile, there are other people who do the real work. They don't have all those things. And this is what you want to sack.
It's casualization too.
Okay, all right, let me hear Mr. Shopiton.
Why is it?
No, it falls on that.
I find you guys comments funny because I mean, I've been in the banking industry, and maybe the first question I should ask Chooks is, what do you consider to be the real work? If you say these are the people doing the real work, what is the real work of banking in any economy? Bros, the real work is being done by the people at the top.
Okay.
That's the reality. What the guys at the bottom of the ladder and
at the counter
certain
that we see
at the counter, the guys that we interface with in the banking hall, they just keep things moving.
Okay.
They're just keeping things going, keep transactions flowing, make sure that people want to deposit, they can deposit. That's not
the real thing.
That's not where the banks make their money.
So where's the money
it's
coming
in deal
from?
making, in creating transactions, in winning large ticket accounts and all those types of things. And those things can only happen at a certain level. And the more value you create at that level, the more you must be remunerated. It's as simple as that. It's competition. It's pure capitalism at play. So if the system can't afford to pay those salaries, they won't pay it. Because like Mr. Debero said, nobody wants to lose money. Everybody likes to make money. So for me, I think when I just read this thing, I just thought this is it's just sensationalism. There is nothing fantastic about this. 2,000 people lost their jobs in an industry that has about 30 banks now, because they've licensed quite a number of others. So you have 30 banks. In 1 quarter, they sacked 30 people. 3,000 people in 1 quarter, in 3 months. So I just did the numbers. It comes to about 30 something, about 35 people, let's say, per bank lost their jobs. For banks that employs thousands, it's almost inevitable.
Plus casualization.
It's almost inevitable. You are going to definitely have, so you'll be losing staff and you'll be employing staff. So I think what this report has done is that it's just taking the job losses in isolation. What about the employment? Because some of those people that left will have to be replaced. Some might not, but some will be replaced. So I'm not sure it's very balanced. I don't think there's any serious issue to this. If you consider the fact that in this period that we're talking about, there's been some consolidation, some banks have closed some branches, those types of things. I think it's just not in the normal course of business. I would have been alarmed if, as a percentage of the total workforce in the industry, we're saying maybe 10% or 15% lost their jobs in that period, then you say, oh, this is huge. But 2%, 3% is almost like a rounding error. It's error of margin something. It's not a big deal at all. That's not to say that all is well in the banking industry with regards to its relationship with its consumers. You know, I know that a lot of people are unhappy, charges are so many, but again, coming from a point of knowledge and information, I know that some of those charges are necessary. You know, the banks must make money. They are businesses. The account maintenance charge, guess where it comes from? In most cases, they are paying the international card issuers, MasterCard, Visa, and all that. They also pay a monthly amount. Either they pay it monthly or they pay it annually, depending on the commercial terms that they have with those people. So some of those things are just transferred costs. But I know that banking can be done better in Nigeria. I know that they can add more value.
I think you ended on the right notes, because I wanted to say that does not justify what we are seeing in the banking sector.
I agree.
It does not in any way justify.
Let me show you.
I know that banks can do better.
If you look at especially the bank that of yellow house, that are of blue house, that you are going to go to that bank, you will see only one person attending to a lot of people, and you will not see anybody there
behind.
There was a day I particularly stayed in that bank for 6 hours. I discovered that there's only one person I was attending to everybody for good 6 hours. And I asked, where is the other one? He said they are not on seat. I said they are not on seat, but this seat does not look like somebody has sat on this seat today. And that is the problem we're having. Upon all the money they are collecting, and they still don't have enough hands to even do the job.
Okay. All right.